Let me tell you a story about the fires currently raging in California. One morning in January 2025, Los Angeles residents woke up to a strange sight. The sky was tinged with a deep red, and the air was thick with the smell of thick smoke. News began to come in of massive fires breaking out in the mountainous areas near the city, and the fires had engulfed thousands of acres of forest and rugged land, making it impossible for firefighters to control the flames that day. As the day progressed, reports began to indicate that the fires were much larger than expected. They were not limited to rural areas only, but some had engulfed residential areas. Large crowds of Los Angeles residents began to leave their areas, heading to safe places, while firefighters worked with all their might to try to contain the flames. But the rain was not an ally this year. Strong winds, carrying smoke and fumes across the sky, were making the task of firefighters even more difficult. As the fires continued to rage, the death toll rose to 11 people, and experts predicted that these fires could cause economic losses estimated at hundreds of billions of dollars. Many residents could not believe that they would ever experience such a moment in one of America's greatest cities. The fires, which did not distinguish between residential buildings and rural homes, turned life in Los Angeles into a real nightmare. Streets that were once crowded with traffic and cars became empty after everyone left them, and the winds took with them the life that filled these places. While the consequences were tragic, this tragedy also showed the strength of local communities. Firefighters, despite the difficulties, did not stop. Even the city's residents began organizing campaigns to help those affected, and despite the chaos, there were strong signs that this community would stand together to overcome this disaster. And so, Los Angeles continues to groan under the weight of these fires, hoping for rain that might help extinguish the raging flames. As the days passed, the thick smoke that enveloped the city began to slowly recede, but that did not mean that the danger was over. The firefighters, who had been working day and night, began to see a glimmer of hope. In some areas, the fires began to subside as firefighters adopted new firefighting techniques. While rescue teams worked to save people trapped in isolated areas or who had to flee at the last minute,